Without drawing it out, I was thinking of something kind of like this. And hopefully it goes this way with this one too. And hopefully for you too, when you're working on your plants, you approach it with that sensibility. It's like you don't have to do everything today. It doesn't have to look perfect. There is no one right way to do it. Right? It doesn't matter what expert comes along and says, you've got to do it this way. Fully. You agree with them or you don't. Right? They're experts, so presumably they know something, right? And you're probably well advised to listen to them, at least to some degree. But if you have a strong feeling like, this is what I want my tree to look like, do it that way. Don't let anybody ride you off that. Do it that way. Because that's being creative. That's being expressive. And there's such a rich field of enjoyment available in going that route. It's not the only way. There are other ways. You can get enjoyment that way too. But I'm here to tell you that taking the creative tack and trying to do something a little bit different and more personal is a good thing. It's a good thing in bonsai, and I think it would do bonsai a lot of good to have more of that happen. And then maybe you'd have to get a bigger room to hold your meetings in, because more people would be saying, hey, bonsai, that's pretty cool, you know? I'd like to learn how to do that.
Do you think younger bonsai people in Japan are thinking more?
I have no idea. No idea. A great honor came to me this year. It came at a bad time. It came like in the run-up to Expo, so I couldn't enjoy it as much as I might have. But a college student from UNCA contacted me and said, you know, I'm an art major, and we have an assignment in our class where we're to approach an artist in the Asheville area and, do an interview with them. And I know you're real busy because you got your show coming, so I got permission from the instructor to write it out as a survey kind of question and answer thing. Well, right away I felt, very pleased to be thought of as an artist. That's a very high compliment, whether it's deserved or not. It's nice when somebody thinks of you that way. And there were some interesting questions. Do you have an artistic statement? What's that, like a resume or something? An artistic statement? No, I don't have one of those. I thought your work was your artistic statement. You make stuff, and people know what you mean by looking at what you do. But one of the questions made me stop and think about something that turned out to be important to me. He said, could you name some things that you feel are successes? And maybe he meant like individual pieces, like, yeah, this elm group came out really nice, right? But instead, I thought of it in a broader sense. And I said, there are two accomplishments that I feel particularly proud of in bonsai. One is that after all this time, it's finally making sense to me as an artistic medium, like pen and paper is a medium, like music is a medium, right? This is a way for you to express yourself. And it really, it's complex. It takes a long time to get to the point where you really feel confident in trying to do that. Or it took a long time for me to get to that point. And then the other thing was saying that I've now reached the point, personally, where for me there is no reference in bonsai to anything other than my own experience of nature. So what happens in Japan, I don't know.
That's just crazy.
That was a long answer, but it's really, it's kind of a vital thing.
Because most people think of the Japanese doing it like you were saying before, exaggerated.
Yeah. And maybe they do it differently now. I have no idea.
And younger people usually over there they hook onto something and they make it totally radically different, but in their own way. So that's why I was just thinking maybe as the younger bonsai people are coming up that may have been trained by relatives, friends, or just anybody. They're going what's considered to be the norm, and if so, are they being laughed at or applauded or that kind of thing?
Don't know. I don't know about young people anymore either.
Well, I don't either.
I see them. They're still out there.
You're young.
It's all relative. Yes. So, you know, hopefully haven't offended anybody, those people who are leaving. Questions?
Right, comment, Mark. I really appreciate hearing you and the philosophy that goes along with it, not just the bonsai I enjoyed last year in Asheville. The big goal for me is to have my tree survive during the winter. And I've got a little pine forest that's made it 3 years, so I'm just as happy as I can be just to that one goal.
Yeah.
But I skipped the step where you have to learn how to do it right, and then you can vary it and do it on your own.
Yeah.
I skipped that because when I first came to this meeting 3 years ago, I confessed that I like mudmen. And they didn't laugh me out of the room.
Yeah.
So I still have mudmen, and I have trees that I love that I grow the way that I want to. Every once in a while I look back at the book kind of to see it, but I skipped that step in learning how to do it right before I do it my way. And it's been a very enjoyable trip, and I probably have to catch up on some better stuff more correct, but it's very refreshing. I really appreciate your whole philosophy and your way of looking at things, because that's truly what I see. I need to get out from my business, my life. It's all at right angles and cement and hard and work and business and machines and tech and on my phone. And
You really need to get away.
I gotta get out. And nature it's so chaotic. I mean, everything is just there's not all this one.
It's chaotic, but it's not chaotic.
No.
It all works.
It
It all
does.
works together. You know, that's the amazing thing about it. What appears to us as chaos is actually this big unified system that, left to its own devices, runs, you know, forever as far as we know.
Did you not put moss on that on the tree over there?
It had moss on it, and I took it off in preparation for the winter. I don't like leaving the moss on in the wintertime, mostly because it makes it harder for me to tell when they need water. You know, big part of when you got a lot to water, your visual sense can help you determine. You look at dry soil, you can tell it apart from moist soil. So being able to see it.
Up in Asheville?
No, they're still out on display. We've not had any serious cold yet. We've gotten down to freezing like 1 or 2 nights. That was it. Yeah. Yeah. Anyone else?
A comment. I
Yes.
was lucky enough to go to Spain a few years ago and came into Madrid and read about the gardens there where they had one of the ex-king's bonsai trees on display. So it was a big, beautiful arboretum garden, and then one spot had a bonsai exhibit. And it doesn't even come close to Asheville.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Except Spain isn't known as a hotbed for bonsai. Just because the guy was
Japan than
king.
we are.
Yeah, right.
But I thank you for that.
Sir Arthur's trees.
For now they are, you know, and then one day I leave and there's somebody else's.
Another king.
Yeah. Well, that's how it is with your trees and everybody else's trees. You know,
State plan.
if everything goes well, they outlive you. That's the objective. You know, you want them to be a problem for your survival.
Arthur, thanks for the club.
3 announcements. If you need a membership application, see me up here.